this is Adam Jensen. I'm a big fan of Crazy Horse Gaming. I didn't ask for this, but I'll check it out.
Hey everybody, Mike here from Crazy Horse Gaming, bringing you another Throwback Tuesday. Today I'm quite excited to bring you this video because it's a game I've wanted on this system for quite some time now. As you can guess by the title, it is Final Fight CD on the Sega CD. The reason I'm excited about it is because Final Fight was a game I used to spend many hours on in the arcade, just play loads of money, and really was one of my favourite arcade games, and still is one of my favourite arcade games developed by Capcom. And the Sega CD version is meant to be the closest version you can get to the PC, to the arcade version at the time. Obviously now, current tech, there is better ports out there. The Xbox Live has one, I believe. I have it. But this was the closest one you could get at the time of it on the arcades, and I've been after this for a while. So, let's jump straight in. First off, I'll just run the intro of this because it has one of the best intros of all time. It really does. This intro wasn't actually in the original game. This is added to the Sega CD version. I think it's just awesome. So I've got to show you this first before we get into the game, and before I tell you a little bit more about the game itself. Should start any minute now, but as you can see there, Final Fight CD, trademarked. And here we go. One of the best intros of all time, with some of the best voice acting you would ever see. Really is awesome.
Metro City, a well-known crime capital, has been ruled by violence and
so I'll point out, this wasn't on the arcade version. This was added to the Sega CD.
A fact which the newly elected mayor and former Street Fighter Mike Hager plans to change.
I should mention the images were, but it was just scrolling text and music.
Mad Gear controls all of the major criminal activity in the city. When they learned of Hager's plans, they took immediate action to bring this new mayor under their control. Sometime in 1992.
The phone just blares over the commentary. Sometime in 1992. Not quite sure when.
Mr. Hager. So please. I believe you know who I am. Don't hang up. We have a little business proposition for you. Your daughter for your cooperation. And we'll pay regular
His
monthly
daughter.
bonus to your salary we offered before.
What? What happened to Jessica? Who is this?
Not so
Sounds
fast.
very shocked and angry, doesn't he?
Turn on your TV.
Best bit's coming.
What have you done to her?
Has to be the angriest voice with, the angriest face with the calmest voice I've ever seen.
Why make your job difficult? Just let us do as we please, like the mayor before you did.
See, at this point in the arcade, you just heard screams and an evil laugh originally, but obviously they added this new audio commentary to the Sega CD and made a bit of an animation. Gets better.
Jessica? My sweetheart since childhood. The Mad Gear must pay. She's my friend too. Count me in.
It's almost as bad as when I'm reading from some script or commentary that we've wrote down rather than just winging it. It sounds terrible. Honest. Right. Let's jump straight in. Start. So, tell you a bit about the game now. The awesome intro's out of the way. And we've got a bit of black screen. You get to choose 3 characters, obviously. We have Guy, Cody, and Hager. Hager being an ex-Street Fighter turned mayor. Guy and Cody, obviously you will know from the Street Fighter games, which I'll explain more. That is the actual same characters. Would be Hager. Hager's my favourite. And we're in the slum. So yes, I was saying, I'll just turn this down a bit on the old headphones. Oh, I forgot about that. Timed. Crotch punch. So yes, as I was saying, Final Fight was released in 1989 as a beat 'em up in the arcades. As you can see, this is pretty much how I remember it looking. Feels a bit slower, but initially Final Fight was meant to be the sequel to the original Street Fighter. They decided to move away from the one-on-one fighting style from the original Street Fighter and go to a side-scroll and beat 'em up like this. But then, given the success of Double Dragon, they changed this to Final Fight. They changed it from Street Fighter, what would have been Street Fighter 2, to Final Fight. It became a hugely popular title for Capcom, which developed it, obviously, in the arcades. And so much, a lot of the design of the characters, a lot of them went on to work on Street Fighter 2. So you will see a few of the characters from here appear in Street Fighter 2, like I mentioned before. Cody and Guy appear. I'm not sure if Hager does or not. I'm not sure. Oh, I just got knocked down by a big fat man. Do my special move, which costs health whenever I do it. So it kind of limits how you can... how many times you can do it, obviously. Hager not being the quickest of guys, but I always preferred him in the arcades. Now, as I mentioned before, that this was considered the closest version to the arcade at the time. This was released in 1993 on the Sega CD. It was pretty much released on countless other things. It was on the... all the time it has been. It's been on the Game Boy Advance as Final Fight 1. Plenty of other stuff. The probably most well-known version would be the Super Nintendo version, which it was out on. But there were several changes to that compared to this. One of the main changes were the fact that they removed one of the areas. I can't remember which area it was, but I know one of them was removed. You could only play as... I believe it was either Cody and Guy, or it might have been Hager and Guy. One of the characters was taken away. I can't remember which one. And also, they took out co-op play. So one of the cool things about this game is obviously it's two-player co-op, which is an awesome experience. What else? Yes, Roxy and Poison. Poison you will also know from Street Fighter, or the latest Street Fighters that she's featured in. And she's kind of a well-known character within the Capcom universe, as well as her Unsure Agenda. And I believe that one's Roxy there. Obviously, they were in the arcade, which is where they came from. And they were in this, but initially on the Super Nintendo version they weren't. Roxy and Poison were taken away and replaced with two punk guys. Oh, sorry, for the international version. They were replaced with Billy and Sid. A couple of punk guys, I believe. But that was the international version. In the Japanese version, they were still in the game. They removed it for international version because apparently we'd get upset about violence towards women, or at the time considered women. And then obviously Poison was considered, was she a woman? And then she wasn't, and she was, and who knows? But yes, so back to the point I was saying. Roxy and Poison were taken out of the international release of, like, that pile driver, the international version on the Super Nintendos. So yes, now that, and then when they re-released, or when they released it on the Sega CD, obviously they brought back all the levels. Brought back co-op play, you could play as all three characters, and they brought back Poison and Roxy for this, so kind of making it, like I said, considered the most complete and best version of the arcade port of its time, back in the 1990s. I can't believe I mentioned it was 1993. These guys really piss me off, the knife throwers. We went a bit quiet there. Another thing that you may or may not know is the character developer for, I believe it was the character developer or character artist for Final Fight, was a big metal fan and wrestling fan. So a lot of the characters are designed and named after either wrestlers or rock stars. Heavy metal rock stars, whatever you want to call them. For instance, you may have just noticed before we went on the train, we had Andre, who was appearance and obviously name was named after Andre the Giant. Several of these people are named after either bands or people in bands. Simmons, is it Gene Simmons? I think. Andre there again. Get my ass kicked. Man. From Gene Simmons, is it from Kiss, I think? As I was mentioning there. Actually, you can chuck the knives and you can still do the old hit them off screen, which I always used to enjoy. Yeah, I used to plow tons of money in the arcade version of this. Good old Axel there, obviously from Guns N' Roses, I believe it's based on. So there's quite a few nods to things like that. You have, like I mentioned, I keep losing my train of thought here. You have, like I mentioned, rock stars, wrestlers throughout the game, little nods to them. And there's probably other stuff in here which I'm not aware of. I'm not an expert on the game by far, as you can probably tell, but it is a game that I've really enjoyed in the past and still do. I believe I have this on the 360, but with this just coming in for me, I wanted to give it a whirl on the old Sega CD. Feels really good, actually. It doesn't feel as smooth as the arcade version did, as I remember it. Nostalgia could be playing tricks on me there. Feels a bit slower, a bit laggier in certain places, but it is a great game, and I'm really enjoying it. Obviously, like I said, I mentioned before about the additions, how they brought in all the levels, 2-player mode, Poison Roxy. There's also a time attack mode, which we might have a look at in a bit. As well as, obviously, the commentary and the animation was new for the Sega CD version, taking advantage of the CD quality sound, as they did with many other games. And I believe they've done the same with the music as well. I think the music either been redone or was new to the game. I don't remember the music being in it, but I very rarely remember music in the arcades, to be honest. Because you don't hear it, you just kind of hear the odd screech and beat 'em up, and there's very rarely music on them. Andre! Damn! My sushi. Oh man, I'm in trouble. Do the special move time. Can't pull it off. Screw you guys. Pissing knife throws, I hate them. So I'll go do the same myself, though. Sorry if I'm leaning out of the camera there. But yeah, it's really cool to be playing a game I actually know and like, for a change, on Throwback Tuesday. This arrived, like I said, this arrived in the post today. Came from the Netherlands, of all places. Cost me a bit to get it, but I don't mind paying for a game that I really like. This has to be, at the moment, the best game in my Sega CD collection for me. On my most wanted game. So cool that I've got this. So many nostalgic memories of arcades back when I was on there. The Haven holidays and the old Butlins camps and stuff like that. Because you see, the arcades these days are just not the same. I mean, aside from all the 2p machines, which obviously you need an arcade machine, so what makes it an arcade machine? It's just full of like rail shooters and damn it. Hit him! Bummer. As I was saying, rail shooters and rhythm games and stuff like that. There's no classic beat 'em ups like this anymore, which is a shame. But you know, it's the price we pay for progress, I guess, when it comes to video game consoles. Flamethrowers. Oh man, I should have done the old. Definitely should have done something then. So yes, we're going to continue. And we'll be Cody. Oh, Guy, sorry. I always get them mixed up. I shouldn't really, because Cody's the dude in the prison stripes in the Street Fighter games. Not quite sure why he ended up in prison, but you know. Guy and Cody are a bit quicker than Haga, but they don't feel as powerful. Although, you can't really tell that much difference. So, I think the plan is, I'll get to the bonus stage, maybe? Depending on how we do. I think bonus stage is after this samurai wrestler dude. Katana, who I believe is also renamed and put into Street Fighter? I think they're renamed. I know he's in a piece in Street Fighter, but I don't know if they renamed him. I'm going to assume they did, because I don't remember a Katana. I forgot about his rush. Bum rush. Screw you. Oh, why did I just stand there and do that? There's only 2 buttons and I keep getting them mixed up. Oh. Kick his ass. So I was used to I used to struggling in the arcades as well. It doesn't look like it's going to be any different here. Get over there. Itchy nose again. Something about recording that gives me an itchy nose, I'm telling you. Oh, what? Back, bitch. You missed. You missed again. Oh, thanks to my... Bollocks. He's going to kill me again, isn't he? Yeah, got him. Just. End of Katana. Yeah, I'm sure he was in the Street Fighter game. Can't remember which one it was or what character he played. But I think this brings us to the bonus round. Did you know the game? I will do the bonus round, as I was going to say. I'll take a look at the time attack mode, because that's another feature that was added to this. You may notice this also appeared in Street Fighter 2. I believe it was. So another nod to Street Fighter 2. Obviously with different music at the time. Get up there. I think I've mucked this up, Anna. Yeah, I'll put a link in maybe. I fucked it up. I'll add another video maybe of the Street Fighter 2 onto this video, playing at the same time. We'll just see. I probably will. Could have done better than that. In Street Fighter 2, I can level the car. But yes, that's where that comes from. The Street Fighter 2 bonus obviously came from this, which is pretty cool. We'll play another level, shall we? And then we'll maybe take a trip over to the time attack mode, which is... or survival mode, shall I say, which is you survive as long as possible. Considering that I've only got 1 life left, it probably ain't going to last that long, so... I won't continue, and then we'll just go on to the different game mode and have a look at that. So yeah, there's loads of nods from other games to this and to other games in this. Or not so nods, but what am I trying to say? Not nods, but predecessors. to other games. So the characters from Street Fighter, blah blah blah. I'm just rambling on now. Well, let it die. Good first. Is it gonna go grey? Yes, of course it's gonna go grey. Music's definitely changed. I don't remember it sounding like this. Could be wrong. So, how are we looking at recording? We are at 24 minutes. So we'll give a quick look at the survival mode. Can't remember the name of it. Or time attack. It is time attack. So we'll have a look at that. See how long we last, shall we? Can't see it being too long. You see, it's quite a vibrant, colourful game. It reminds me a lot of, we'll do Cody, as Streets of Rage, which is obviously I used to kind of consider it the cheaper version of Final Fight, because I couldn't get Final Fight on any home console when I was a kid. So you get one life, just because there wasn't a console that could really do the graphics. I didn't really have a SNES at the time. I had a Mega Drive. Brother had a SNES. I didn't. So Streets of Rage was the closest I had to Final Fight back then, which might explain my fondness for Streets of Rage as well. Bit of Cody. Looks a bit different these days than what he did back then. Guy's got old. Guys don't muck around, do they? In survival mode. And I'm Baba. I want to try a grab. There we are. Very heavy metal music there. Rock ballad type stuff going off. A guitar solo. Come on. Screw you. I need some health. Oh, 12 guys. I'm not going to get any health, am I? Be 13. Whoa! Panicked. Ah, fudgemudge. I'm back. So I get 2 lives. Awesome. That poison? I think it is, yep. So yes, I know. For a time there was quite a bit of confusion regarding Poison's sexuality. Was she female? Was she a he? I believe it was something to do in Japan. She was initially meant to be a post-op or transsexual? I think. I can't remember if it was post-op or pre-op. Did I say trans-op? Meant pre-op or post-op. But then she became female because I think they were worried of upsetting people who were oversensitive about that stuff. I believe she's back to being female now? I'm not entirely sure. I know at one point they did admit she was a male, or was a male, and I think they're going back to her being female. I don't know, it's all confusing and Capcom aren't very clear on it either, I don't believe. None of the matters, either way, still an awesome character. Aw, man! That was just cheeky. That was cheeky and all. We got 32. Results, you, time, 87, defeat 32, top. Time, full, defeat 0. You made a new record. Jolly good. Well, peeps, that was Final Fight CD on the Sega CD. That's what we're coming up to, about the 20-minute mark. I said 25 minutes earlier, but I had it running a bit, the recording before that, so I'm guessing it's about 20 minutes. Yes, I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the subscribe and like button down below this video. And if you're watching on the website, please feel free to check out the other content we get up on the site. We get stuff up there as often as we can. Also, feel free to go over and check out the Crazy Horse Gaming forum. We've got a nice forum sat there waiting for all you guys to use, to organise game meets, talk about video games, movies. Maybe you want to talk about the rambling on I've done about Final Fight. But yes, that was Final Fight on the Sega CD. A really, really awesome game with really awesome character development. Really enjoyed it. Some of the best characters in video gaming, in my opinion. Some of the strongest characters. I mean, you've only got to look at how they've survived through the years. Like I said, Cody, Guy, Poison, Katana, to mention a few. The Capcom car, awesome. Yeah, so it's great to see them all there. And that was once again Final Fight on the Sega CD. And once again, I want to thank you all for watching. Your support is really appreciated. You are all awesome. So a big thank you to you guys, and goodbye.